Welcome to the Medina Township regular trustees meeting, April 25th, 2024. Roll call, please.
Mr. Christopher.
Here.
Mr. Johnson.
Here.
Mr. Eastwood.
Here. Time is 7 o'clock. Please join the trustees and fiscal officer for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. If you'd all join us in a moment of silence for our military, past, present, future, first responders. Thank you. A little housekeeping, please turn off your cell phones or silence them. And in our meetings, as always, we ask anybody that speaks to please be respectful. First item on the agenda is approval of payroll. I move to approve payroll dated 4/29/2024 with the total amount of $67,687.72, with the total remaining deductions, withholdings, liabilities of $7,908.66, and incorporate this two-page document as presented. Second. Roll call.
Mr. Christopher.
Aye.
Mr. Eastwood.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is police recognition. So,
Well, some of you guys might have seen in the news, we had an incident with our Masonic community. There was a theft there, and our department was notified. And through the work of Detective Euler, Helly Nesda, our chief, and Jason French, they all worked diligently on this case. And it was upsetting to have, some of our elder citizens taken advantage of, and some rings were stolen from them. We had a press conference, and the good news is, something that I never thought would happen, was we were able to recover all those rings. So, in recognition of that, I would like to have the chief, Mike Euler's here, Jason French is here. I have some things for you guys, and the chief asked me to read them for you. Jason, if you can kind of come up here. You were happy with that. So I'd like to read this first one that Chief wrote up for you, if you don't mind. Try to get the glare. So it says, "Dear Jason, it is with great pleasure and pride that I extend this letter of commendation to you to recognize your exceptional dedication and exemplary service to the Western Reserve Masonic community. Your commitment to the welfare and safety of the residents of the Masonic community has significantly contributed to upholding the highest standards of professionalism and safety. Your outstanding performance and unwavering commitment to the duty were demonstrated during the alleged theft investigation on January 26, 2024 at the Western Reserve Masonic community. Your quick thinking, decisive action, and remarkable investigative skills, do I have a job opening.
We'll save that for Detective Euler.
You need some minions. Played a crucial role in identifying the subjects involved in the theft of the 2 diamond rings from a 104-year-old and an 87-year-old female victims. It is with a great sadness that both victims passed away during this investigation. Hopefully now they will have some peace knowing that these subjects were formally indicted by the Medina County Grand Jury on numerous felony counts and will not be able to harm any more elderly residents. Furthermore, your dedication to the Masonic community and proactive engagement has fostered trust and positive relationships with the residents of the Masonic community. Your willingness to go above and beyond the call of duty reflects your genuine concern for the well-being of others and exemplifies the core values of the Masonic community. On behalf of the Medina Township Police Department, I extend my sincerest gratitude for your outstanding service and dedication. Your commitment to excellence reflects great credit upon yourself and the Masonic community. The glare has killed me. Please accept this letter as a token of our appreciation for your exceptional contributions.
Oh, yeah.
And Chief, that was long.
You're slide down.
This one is for you, Detective Euler, and I also have one for Hallie. So, maybe it's a paragraph less. It is with great pleasure and pride that I extend this letter of commendation to recognize your exceptional dedication and exemplary service to the community as a member of the Medina Township Police Department. Your commitment to duty and professionalism has significantly contributed to upholding the highest standards of law enforcement and public safety. Your outstanding performance and unwavering commitment to the duty was demonstrated during the alleged theft investigation of January 26th of 2024 at the Western Reserve Masonic Community. Your quick thinking, decisive actions, and remarkable investigative skills played a crucial role in identifying the subjects involved in the theft of the 2 diamond rings of the 104-year-old and 87-year-old female victims. It is with great sadness that both victims passed away during this investigation. Hopefully they will have some peace knowing the subjects were formally indicted by the Medina County Grand Jury. Furthermore, your dedication to the community engagement and proactive policing investigation initiatives were fostered trust and positive relationships with the residents of our jurisdiction. Your willingness to go above and beyond the call of duty reflects a genuine concern for the well-being of others and exemplifies the core values of our department. Your exceptional service serves as a shining example to your colleagues and embodies the highest ideals of law enforcement. Your efforts have not gone unnoticed, and your contributions have made a lasting impact on the safety and security of our community. Congratulations on this well-deserved recognition, and may you continue to inspire others with your exemplary service in the years to come.
Hallie,
This picture.
all of it. Everybody, please.
So, one other little story here is we actually had our police meeting this week, and we're sitting there, and we're giving out kudos to everybody, and Mike's like, "Hey Chief, I got something for you."
I thought it was a fist pump.
Yeah, he thought it was a fist bump. So Chief puts his hand out like this, and Mike's like, "No, turn it over," and he opens his hand like this, and then he sets the rings in his hands. He had just found out that we had reclaimed them, so it was.
I was elated. I never, honestly, I just met with the Medina County prosecutor a couple days prior to this, and we thought we'd never ever find these rings again. And I did scream out a 4-letter word, and I apologize to the painter for it, but I was so excited. It made me feel, I think that was the best part of this whole entire investigation, was being able to recover these rings, because that normally does not happen. Okay, and it was awesome and fantastic job. You guys did a wonderful job, and Jason, you and your investigative skills, they should be happy that you're up there, buddy. Honestly.
Well, I appreciate you guys.
Let me just say, Chief Finnick runs one heck of a department.
He really does, he really does. Thank you.
It's my office.
Can I ask Chief Minnick a question?
Yeah,
Did you work for the Condon County Security Department 25 years ago?
a long time ago.
Capretta.
Oh my
Third
God.
shift. We worked third shift.
Yeah, we did, remember?
Okay, we got started the other day.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
I don't believe that.
Who, Andy? No,
30
great.
30 years ago.
So that takes us to now almost introductions are made. So we have some guests tonight, and that is our county auditor, Anthony Capretta, and his, I'll say, assistant, or head of the CUAV, Lori Corrin.
Lori.
And they're here to just make a short presentation, so it's yours.
First of all, I just want to say thank you to everyone who helped me out last year on the campaign. It's been actually 1 year ago that I got elected, but it was really big out here. You really helped me a lot, and I wouldn't be here looking for Bruce and everybody else. Just want to say thank you. And I'm going to introduce my CAUV director, Lori Coran. She's the director of CAUV, which is farmland. She's going to tell you a little bit about what we do. Has anybody ever heard of CAUV before? Okay.
So basically, I'm here to kind of just let you know some of the programs that are in your community and that you already have. Whether it be to help your taxpayers out or direct people in the right direction, or for you that have questions, you know, from things that have been and what they are and where they progress to be. I've known CAUV for 37 years. I am also a general certified appraiser, so I'm very familiar. I was here since the program started. So CAUV is current agricultural use valuation. It was originally designed for, and created for the purpose of areas like these where land was rural and development started coming in and values started increasing, and the farmer was saying, well, I've been doing the same thing I've been doing and I'm getting run out because values are increasing because of the price of development of property. So they created CAUV to protect the farmers. So they put guidelines together that as long as you were farming, that you would get a reduction in your taxes. And of course, they also put guidelines in there to make sure it was people who were farming. So developers who would come in and try and be on CAUV for just a couple of years till they develop, there's a clause in there that makes you come back 3 years. We will collect back our tax savings for 3 years back. For those purposes, it kind of deters people from getting on it for a short period of time. People who are in it for long, they really are farmers. We have over 5,000 CAUV properties in Medina County, and yeah, 5,000. Now it's a lot. In the idea, we're supposed to try and look at these all the time. The current agricultural use right now, you can save anywhere from, let's say, a property's at $10,000 an acre, or $20,000 an acre market. An average cost right now on CAUV, and we have to value these by soil type, so it's not as simple as somebody saying, well, what would my value be if I get on CAUV? You could have 20 different soil types on your property, and that's valued by an income approach based on the state, and that's dictated. So we have to figure out how much of each type of soil you have on your property, and that's how your value is determined. Now, additionally, you get 1 acre if you have a house on it, minimally. Now, this has been misinterpreted in many counties for years. So the last several years, all counties are trying to get on the same page. And that's been my job coming into this, is to straighten it out, because I know people have said to me a million times, I've been doing it that way for 20 years, but that's not the way it was supposed to be done. So minimally it is 1 acre if you have a house. That is not tax, you do not get a tax reduction on that. And it is not the whole once, because you have let's say you're using 10 acres of your 40, you don't get all of it unless it's 10 acres of crop. Then if there's woods, we can consider that. But it's for the areas that are agricultural. It is for commercial production of a crop. That means you have to produce income. So if a property is under 10 acres, and I don't mean 10 acres total, I mean 10 acres of crop, then we require income. And then that way we can make sure it's not for the guy who has his own horses and they ride the horses, they have a nice pasture. It looks like you drive by, it looks like agricultural, but it's not. So that we also have a lot of timber in Medina County, and there are two types, there's non-commercial and there's commercial. Commercial production of timber is just that, it's not a clear cut. I hope everybody freaks out, oh my God, I'm not getting on that because I'm not cutting my trees down. It's not about that, it's about maintaining the trees. So it's very well monitored by management plans for people who are very, have the same goal. They want to keep the trees, but what they do is over time, they have a plan in there that says you're gonna harvest 8 to 10 to 12, whatever tree is depending on the situation, of it per acre of certain parts, and they divide it into stands, because different trees in different areas are different sizes. But what the great part about that is that when you're removing these, they're very selective. It's not always about the big giant tree. Sometimes it's about pulling a tree down that they might not get as much money for, but it's going to make the other ones much more healthy. And also they'll drop the tops, and it helps the habitat and everything else. But it generates income, and it's actually a great thing. I've been involved in ODNR and woodlands for a long, long time. I love it, because it's also something that generates money. If I had known what I know now, I would have bought a bunch of that woods, down south, because it generates money for your families for years to come, and it's maintaining something. It's a great thing. That would require a management plan. Now, the other part is non-commercial woodlands. People were getting in Medina County, anybody have woods, you got it. That's not the way it goes. If you have 10 acres of crop or plus, and you have woodlands on the property, then it is considered non-commercial, and that will qualify. But without that, it does not. The one thing I wanted to make the trustees aware of is you also have, and I don't know, if they also have what they call agricultural districts. Now, the difference in an agricultural district and an CAUV, same qualifications, two different things though. CAUV deals with the tax reduction. Agricultural districts protect against eminent domain, nuisance claims, and the biggest one is if you're in a farming area and they come in with assessments for water, sewer, as long as you are on that agricultural district, you are protected, don't have to pay it till it comes off. Now, it's funded by the state at that time, but you're deferred. The difference in an ag district and CAUV is CAUV, you apply every year. An ag district is applied for every 5. But agricultural district doesn't have the recruitment things, it's just something that protects you. There's no money to be saved unless there's an assessments or something coming through. The difference in an ag district here is that you're a township. So when an ag district comes to me on an application, because you're not incorporated, you basically don't even know you have them. I have a list of your ag districts. You have 28 of them here in your township. 28, and I have a list for you. But at the same time, if you were in a city, let's say we're Brunswick or Wadsworth or anywhere else, that would be different. It has to go to the council, and then council can modify or reject or whatever. Otherwise, right now, it goes right through me. So, does anybody have any questions?
Does that affect our zoning?
No, it does not. It has nothing to do with zoning. It's just the use at the time. Mhm.
So, a lot of people are being removed from CAUV right now, and they think Auditor Capretta is removing them, and I am not.
It's me.
They say I'm kicking them off.
Glorious.
No, really, that's what's going around right now, because I'm a new auditor, but Lori, can you explain why I'm not kicking anybody off the program?
We're not trying to kick anybody off, but
But-
there are blatant ones that, these haven't been looked at in years. So now, I have this task of going through it, and there are ones where literally I will walk up to me, you're like, I'm not cutting anything, I'm not doing anything. I go, well, what do you farm here? I don't. That's
It's been
kind
like
of
that for
hard
years.
to not to take off. I have those, but if somebody's got potential, there's partly there, and they only have so much. I will give them a year or whatever, and I will give them suggestions. I will refer them to the Farm Bureau so that they can add to it to be able to qualify. We will give them time. But like I said, basically the ones that are, this isn't like, oh my God, maybe. It's pretty much no. So he is not. I am following the law. I'm following what has to be done. And I hate to be the one to do it, but that's what it is. But it's also not fair. If people, why should they get the reduction when the farmers are out there at 7 o'clock in the morning
Right.
doing the job that this program was created for, and other people are just trying to get it for a tax reduction? I want to make it fair. So,
That's why she's my director.
And
just real quick, anytime if an individual wants to find out, they can go right to your website or your,
They go to our website, I
Yeah,
brought
call
some
'em.
business cards with me,
Yeah.
or anything else. If you have any questions, you said you had a question? So we get, anybody else?
The answers are perfect.
Yeah. Yes.
A lot of people have been abusing this, why all of a sudden now it's getting enforced?
Great
Because I
question.
was brought in to do it, so,
There
because
was
I've had
nobody there to
experience.
enforce it before, I'll answer it, yeah, and that's
Yeah.
why I brought her in. When I came in, I had no director. What do you got, what's going on here? I saw boxes and boxes and boxes full.
It was boxes, it wasn't in files.
I said,
it was in
who's
boxes.
running this over here? Well, I don't know.
You know,
So-
they had a part-time person, there is no way a part-time person could come into this, as if I would sit you down at my desk and show you how we have to digitize this stuff, to do the soils and to research some of these things, it's a lot of manpower, and we're, like I said, we're supposed to view every single one every year. How can anybody value, and by the way, you only have it supposedly to the end of June. Okay, when did the farmers start planting? What does that leave me, to do all those? So right now, we're doing them in spurts, you know, and anything that's coming in, anybody's gonna counter, we're digitizing. I'm gonna give you a perfect example that probably I've seen at least 100 times already this year. Somebody comes to counter and they throw their thing there like, just can you stamp it, we're good. I said, no, hold on a minute. Let me pull it up, let me pull your parcel up on here, let's take a look. And they put, the key number is 10 acres, right? You don't have to show income for 10 acres. So they'll put 10, 11, 12, 13, maybe 14. They'll put that acres down. And you pull that parcel up, and it's about 2 or 3. So now, I never had to do that before, or, you know, and I'm like, I'm not trying to do anything different. This is it's an affidavit. And it is also punishable by a misdemeanor in the first degree. It is an affidavit. So for years, this is the way it's been. So yes, I worked Cuyahoga County for 35 years. I started the program in Medina County, was heavily involved with Ohio State University and ODNR for years, changing laws for people with trees and different things like that. And then I retired. I was really enjoying it. and until he called them. And I'm like, oh man, I don't want to go back.
I worked in Cuyahoga County with Lori,
Yeah,
it was in
yeah.
the appraisal department, and so she was one of the phone calls that I had made after I won the election and came into office and saw, I need a CAUV director, thought of her right away. So, it's a
But
great
anybody have any
question.
questions, or you need help, or you think you can, or you have a plan you want to, we work with that too.
When you approach farmers, say the western part of Medina County,
Mhm.
how are they receiving this?
Well, I think they're okay, because, I've done some stuff with, I'm heavy with, Farm Bureau also.
Mhm.
So they've actually invited me in to talk and introduce myself there too. Most of them at some point have talked to me on the phone, or one of my staff already at this point. No, they're pretty good, yeah. I think before they're like, oh, what do you know? Okay, well, I'll tell you what I know. You know, yeah. Anything else?
good.
You.
Thank you everyone for allowing us
Yeah,
to
thank you
come.
guys.
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And
I'm gonna leave
And,
these
yeah,
couple
you know,
business
I'll
cards
get in
here.
touch with you tomorrow regarding that.
Okay, let me generally give these to you, that is your ag district,
Absolutely.
and here's some business.
Thank you, sir. And I'll talk with you tomorrow. I'll give you a shout. Is that
Okay.
good tomorrow?
Oh, let me give this back to you. I'll give that back to you too. Thank you, nice meeting you all.
So, now we're on the site plans. So, our site plan is, for off mortgage at 3995 Medina Road. Mr. Christopher, motion to accept the recommendation of zoning commission to approve the change of use, application A, for roof, mortgage to be located at 3995 Medina Road as presented.
Second.
Ready? go ahead and do you have anything to say, tell us about it?
No, basically, it's gonna be same kind of signs that are on the building
Okay,
with multiple tenants.
okay,
Director sign, building sign,
okay,
et cetera, et cetera.
okay. And we've got one more motion here, so I'll make that and then for that, okay?
Okay.
Okay,
Roll call.
roll call?
Mr. Christopher?
Aye.
Mr. Eastwood?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
B, Mr. Christopher, motion to accept the recommendation of the zoning commission to approve the portico sign, application B, for roof mortgage to be located at 3995 Medina Road, not to exceed 4.72 square feet as presented.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Christopher?
Aye.
Mr. Eastwood?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye. Is that all we have for you, or is there another?
Okay, you're,
Follow
okay,
the-
thank you.
Thank you.
That was quick, Jim.
Is anybody here from Medina Farming? Are you guys from Medina Farming? You can introduce yourself.
So let me read to, this site plan is for Medina Family Pharmacy. It's gonna be located at 3705 Medina Road, Suite C. Mr. Christopher, motion to accept the recommendation of the zoning commission to approve the change of use for Medina Family Pharmacy to be located at 3705 Medina Road, Suite C, as presented.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Christopher?
Aye.
Mr. Eastwood?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
I'd like to talk to them first. So, if you can introduce yourself and kind of tell us what's coming in?
Yeah. My name's John Kamara. I am a pharmacist, and I live in Granger Township. The pharmacy will be Medina Township. My wife and I have lived in Medina for about 10 years now, and after 18 years in the cutthroat pharmaceutical business, I see how frustrating it is these days anymore for people, and it seems like nobody has a good experience anymore. So I want to bring back the traditional, pharmacy service.
You don't see that very often. You see Walmart, and you see Walgreens, and so.
Or the other end of your phone sitting on hold. So that's, it's always been something that I really wanted to do, and kind of finally got to the point with my wife where I said, if I don't do this now, I'm gonna regret it. Just looking forward to becoming a part of the community and just giving the people the level of service that people deserve. That's what I'm all about.
Awesome.
Applaud you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Take care.
Chairman, there's a small error on here. I mean, everything is okay to be approved, but it says for review of all site plans and signage requests. There was no signage at this time for this business. They are going to
changes.
submit the signage later, so what you're really just approving is the change of use.
Yes. I will be back for the sign.
Huh? Well, I know you read it, but the letter says signage, and there is no signage.
So we will amend the
No.
pre.
You're fine, but the minutes say signage
Oh,
as well
okay.
as, and it's wrong,
Okay.
I just want it on the record. The
Okay, fine.
signage will come later.
Thank you.
Then you've got it, Elaine?
Yeah.
Yep,
I'm good.
okay, very good.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for
Thank
coming
you
in.
very much. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda are purchase orders and training requests. I don't think you have any, do you, Trustee Johnson?
No, I don't have it.
Okay.
You wanna start with me?
We're gonna start with you.
Here, you want
the next hour. Okay. Oh, I have a purchase order, believe it or not. I would like to make a motion for a purchase order. The department is police. This is going to be for the Chrysler Police Supply. It's going to be for our range and duty ammunition. It's going to be for the amount of $7,020.44.
Second.
You want any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Christopher?
Aye.
Mr. Eastwood?
Aye. I would say it sounds pretty bulletproof to me.
Next one, I'd like to make a motion for a purchase order. The department is police. It's gonna be VASU Communications. It's a replacement for our portable radios in the amount of $3,806.00.
Second? It's just what it is.
It is what it
It
is.
is what it is.
All right, roll call.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Eastwood?
Aye.
Mr. Christopher?
Aye.
I would like to make a motion for a purchase order. The department is police. The vendor is going to be Lighthouse Solutions Group. This is going to be for new computers for the police department in the amount of $16,182.00. I would also like to add that this is from our grant that we received.
Great. Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Christopher?
Aye.
Mr. Eastwood?
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion for a purchase order. The department is the police. Vendor is going to be Code 3 Technology. It's going to be for 2 mobile data terminals in the amount of $8,769.00. I'd like to add also that this is going to be from our grant money also.
I'll second that. How are those used?
What's that, the grant?
No, the terminals.
The mobile terminals are in the vehicles, right?
Yes, they're the computers in the cars, you know, mobile data terminals.
Thank you.
I even learned this week that we got printers in the cars. So, high tech, man. Roll call.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Eastwood?
Aye.
Mr. Christopher?
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion for a purchase order. The department is police. This vendor is Aflac. This is March through December 2024, and it is worth $700.
Second?
Roll call.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Eastwood?
Aye.
Mr. Christopher?
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion for a purchase order. This department will be the police department. The vendor is the city of Medina. This is going to be for our 2024 dispatch services provided by the city of Medina Police Department. The cost is $75,166.79.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Christopher?
Aye.
Mr. Eastwood?
Aye.
I'm looking for more. So next, I would like to make a motion for training. This is going to be for defensive tactics. It's going to be for Officers Nicholson, Carlo, Harrington, Trapalo, Laura, Minnick and Milner. And the reason for it is defensive tactics with handcuffing and combative subjects. It's going to be on May 13th of 2024. Is there any cost to this, Chief?
There may be a couple hours overtime.
Oh, yeah, but we're not, it's not.
No, this is no,
Okay.
not for training.
Yeah.
Second?
Roll call?
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Eastwood?
Aye.
Mr. Christopher?
Aye. And just a note on that, when we brought Chief Minnick in, one of the things that we were really looking for and something he brought to the table was a desire to help equip the staff and the officers. And I think, it's good to see more of this going on, and it does nothing but help our individual officers and the community.
Thank you.
I'd make a motion for a training request. This is gonna be the FTO School of NAFTO. It's gonna be located at the Kent Police Department. It's field training officer certification, and it's going to be for Officer Miltner. And it's going to be July 15th through the 17th.
Second?
Discussion, there is a cost to this one, but it's good, we have a blanket for this, correct?
Yes, we do.
All right, so, with that, roll call?
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Eastwood?
Aye.
Mr. Christopher?
Aye.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion for a training request. This is going to be, Conference Street Survival. It's going to be located at Doubletree in Cleveland, Ohio. It's going to be for Officer O'Donnell. It's going to be May 15th and 16th.
Second?
Again, there is a cost to this, but it's still being covered out of the same training certificate blanket. So, roll call?
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Eastwood?
Aye.
Mr. Christopher?
Aye. Chief's looking.
It's the one for the Verizon. Do I do it now, I guess, or do I do it during the department head comments? I'll just do it during department heads. Keeps my vocal cords a break.
Commissioner Johnson, can we, make sure that it's in the minutes that the ammunition and the radios are gonna be taken, that's gonna be, come from the Park Foundation grant that, Park Foundation that they sent us for $50,000, that's where that money's coming from.
Thank you.
Hey, Chief, I also have your signature on these two here, okay? Make them sign those before we leave.
Do you have any more?
They have these training requests.
Trustee Eastwood, do you have any?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I would like to make a purchase order requisition dated 4/25 of 2024, Departments Road and Bridges. Vendor is Set in Stone Contracting LLC. The description's the 2024 Medina Township pavement concrete replacement project for Medina County Engineer. That has a price of $127,988. And in addition, additional funds for gravel and stone is needed for an additional $5,000 for a total $132,988.
Second?
Any other discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Eastwood?
Aye.
Mr. Christopher?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Wanna do that resolution? Same time? I would move to adopt resolution number 0425-2024-065. Resolution accepting and awarding the 2024 Medina Township paving concrete replacement project in Medina Township for the Medina County Engineer. Whereas bids for the 2024 Medina Township paving concrete replacement project in Medina Township for the Medina County Engineer were received and publicly read in the office of the Medina County Engineer, April 17th, 2024 at 1 p.m. Ohio time, and referred to the Board of Trustees for review. And whereas the Board of Medina Trustees has recommended the bid for the concrete replacement project be awarded to Set in Stone Contracting, LLC, 2350 Pearl Road, Medina, Ohio, 44256. Now therefore be it resolved by the Medina Township Trustees of Medina County, Ohio, that the bid for the 2024 Medina Township paving concrete replacement project for the Medina County Engineer be awarded to Set in Stone Contracting LLC for the price of $127,988, with additional funds for gravel and stone as needed for up to $5,000.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Eastwood?
Aye.
Mr. Christopher?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
That everything you have? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, yes.
I do have one for purchase orders, so I make a motion to approve Medina Township purchase order requisition dated 4/25/2024, and the vendor on this is Cozy Medical Mutual of Ohio, located in Columbus, Ohio. This is, the departments are for administration, zoning, road and bridges, and police department. This is medical and other insurance for April through December 2024 in the amount of $270,483.84.
Second?
Any discussion? Roll call?
Mr. Christopher?
Aye.
Mr. Eastwood?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Take care of that. Okay. The next item is the approval of accounts payable. I move to approve accounts payable dated 4/25/2024 with digital check number 8-2024, voided physical checks 33385 and 33400, Orlo Auto Parts, and physical check numbers 33448 to 33466 for the total amount of $127,457.98, and incorporate this one-page document as presented with motion for approval.
Second.
Any discussion?
No?
Roll call?
Mr. Christopher?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Eastwood?
Aye.
Next item, our department head comments. Chief Minnick, do you have any comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to thank the board for their continued support of the police department, and to thank Fiscal Officer Painter for attending our departmental meeting and the introductions, and I really appreciate that. Thank you. That concludes.
Elaine, do you have any?
One thing, the backstop, I don't know if you guys have noticed, you came in and out, how it's deteriorating. I think it's something that we really need to put our heads together and figure out how to fix that. I mean, it was bad last year, now there's a cone on it, so that the one stone is actually tipping off. So, I mean, we need an entrance, we need an exit to the building, so it needs to be safe. I mean, if this one was shut off, everybody would be going that way. So,
Yeah.
I don't know, like I said, just need to put our heads together, and the weather's changing and it'd be a great time to fix it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Real quick, to go back to the chief, other than the fact that I was at that meeting too.
Sorry. It's coming back to you, right?
Alright. So, I'd like to talk about this, motion that we have here for, Zija. So right now, as I understand it, Lieutenant Zija, is not, a contact for the department's Verizon account, and we just wanna make him be able to
Yeah,
contact.
this is strictly for the mobile data terminals.
Alright, so that way, you know, when they say who's the contact, we have it ready. So if I could, I'd like to make a motion to authorize Lieutenant Zija as the contract administrator for the police department's Verizon account.
Second.
Alright, any other discussion? Okay. Roll call?
Mr. Johnson,
Aye.
Mr. Christopher,
Aye.
Mr. Eastwood.
Aye.
And that was you, Doug, seconded?
It's a 50-50.
What's your name?
I forgot.
There you go.
That's all the comments?
Yes.
That ends the department head comments. That takes us to, item 10, which is the I-71, I-271 proposed project discussion. So, we were all at the meeting.
You're all at the meeting.
That they had. Unfortunately, the trustees were allowed to go in and actually, they presented things to us so we could ask questions. And unfortunately, the township or the residents, all they got to do was basically walk through. And so it was much harder, and there were, I don't know, 200-300 residents, whatever, probably easy 300 residents. Cause I went to the earlier meeting and I went back, to the later meeting. For those not aware of it, the state, but it's really coming from the federal government, make no mistake about it. They want to change the interchange at 71 and 271. And they're saying that, the ramps right now, they're at 45 miles an hour, and they said that's substandard for the federal guidelines now. It was standard when they put them in, but they're substandard now. When we look at some of the plans, some of the plans incorporated taking 71 all the way, taking parts of Nichols Road off, just cutting it out, taking the homes away, and putting it back on. Parts of it, if you went to the extreme, which it sounds like they would want to do, would also take homes away on the, what would that be, the northeast corner. For sure, they would be taking homes away, and the southeast corner, they'd be taking a bunch of land. And for example, I asked a very simple question. They showed all these different alternatives. And I said, well, this one down here doesn't look too bad, right at 71, right at 271 coming out of 71. I said, it's not my property, but it's easy to say, you know, but there was nothing but green there. I said, well, that doesn't look like it encroaches very much. And they said, well, yeah, but if you take that one, then you gotta take one over here on the other side. And I said, well, this one over here only looks like it takes a little bit of land away too. And the guy's answer immediately was, yes, but if we decide you need something else, that's what we give you. I said, you just made up my mind. I said, I want no part of it, and we don't need it. So that's just Bruce Christopher's opinion. But I am against it. This is all tied to something called NOACA, and you should really become familiar with NOACA. There was a gentleman here that came in, John Kalis came in, I had him come in 2 meetings ago, and he's been following NOACA for the county commissioners for the last few months. He's extremely knowledgeable, and I asked him, please just make it like 5 minutes here, because he could talk for 2 hours. He would have confused everybody. But it's not a good thing that in the state, there is a bill floating around our state house. They want to be able to come out and tell you that they want to take away our zoning, and they want to be able to come in and say, forget your old zoning. We've got these 28 parcels here that would fall under the CUAV. We think those would be great places for high density, low income housing. And we would have no say to it. So you have to be aware of it. We're gonna have to fight back on this. And NOACA, the deck is stacked against us. Cuyahoga County gets, I think, 26 votes. And the other counties, if you added up all their votes, get something like 18 or 19 votes. So it's really gonna be an uphill battle, but we've gotta resist it. We just absolutely have to resist it. And it has to be first on a local level, but it also has to be pushed back on the federal level. That's my opinion. And I'll turn it over to you, trustees.
Back to the 271 specific, we all happened to end up at the meeting. And then probably, I've been contacted by various property owners.
Yep.
And I'm sure everybody has been individually. I haven't had anybody call me and say, hey, I can't wait for them to do this. And I'm sure those people exist. And I wonder how many might be in the somewhat local government level. Because there's people who think it would be great if we could go around those at faster speeds instead of 45, if we could go at 55 or 65, and just think what it would be for transportation people. And as trustees, or when I got this job, big part of it was to represent the people. And I, again, haven't had one family person say, take my place. I've had multiple generation properties, and the guy's practically in tears saying, what's gonna happen? I mean, I'm the 4th generation on this farm, and
Yep.
that route is gonna take it away. From a lot of it's a safety perspective. And so while this is a discussion right now, they're not like jamming it down our throats, but to Bruce's point, you need to stay proactive. Chief was at the meeting I was at, and I'm like, how do our first responders deal with it if Nichols Road and Granger Road don't have an intersection anymore? Because that's a possibility. How do we get to that side of the township? Because it's a discussion, there's not answers, but I think Bruce's main point is, my takeaway from that was, we need to get better educated, and we need to continue to get the feedback from the community. And to that point, tomorrow is a deadline for sending letters to ODOT to comment on this. They want to hear from us. So I encourage people, if they could, to look that up and find a way to comment, to share what you think, because they want to hear from the people. So that's my takeaway.
Trustee Johnson.
I went there, I actually met with one of the architects, the engineers, and basically what I got from it, I mean, other than there's a lot of roundabouts, they were getting paid to do a study. And so he's like, yeah, some of these things aren't really feasible, but this is what we do in our study. So that's why they had, if you notice that each one of those lines was a different color code for different speeds.
Right.
And so he knew that some of them weren't practical, but they just put them there just to show you where it would have to be if it was going. I know I've been contacted by a few residents, I don't think any of them are here, but I kind of expressed to them the same thing. As of right now, from what I have gotten, it is in the discussion phase, but it was mostly just to get money, and use the money that was, and to see the feasibility of that. There was discussions in there about Remsen, which was interesting. There was even talk of, one of the drawings was capping it over there, which
Right.
I told them they could just go cap it over in the Weymouth thing there, and we'd all be happy. I like the idea where I saw 3 roundabouts in like 150 yards. That would have been special. So I mean, sometimes I don't even know why they would have presented something like that. So my faith in them is limited. But again, what I took from it was something that they had grant money. They wanted to show the ideas and how that would lay out. I mean, the one was literally going through a 30-foot ravine. So that would cost you 10 times as much money to put a road through there. So again, the feasibility of it. So we're keeping our eye on it. We're definitely, I'm personally against it. And we'll just have to keep our eye on it. And that's really all we can do as trustees. Write a letter.
I did ask in the meeting, I said, couldn't this money be used? Because as Trustee Johnson said, they also had these roundabouts, but the big bulk of the money was gonna be for this, interchange. And I said, aren't there some bridges in Medina County that could be fixed or somewhere else? And the answer was, this is set aside for this project. So I said, well, I said, can't we use it somewhere else in the state? I mean, let's do something that makes some sense. And that was their comment, this is set aside for this project. So it scares me like this is gonna be forced down our throat. But any question, well, we can talk about that in public comments. Anything else? Okay. Next item is Weymouth, something positive, Weymouth Preservation Society. Susan, would you like to say something? Would you
Well, we've
stand
had-
up and say your name?
Do I have to stand up?
Yeah, and your address. Nobody knows you.
Susan McTiernan, 3306 Old Weymouth Road in the Gingerbread House. So we have had a plant sale from before we had a building. And we actually just cut plants from our yard and laid them in the driveway at the school, scared to death somebody was gonna come and say, you can't be here. So we were pretty naive then, and we sold out in 20 minutes. So now it's a big fundraiser for us, and it's a really good community event. That and Weymouth Day are the things that bring all the community in. But, and it raises half our rent every year. But this year, where we bought most of our stuff, Green Valley in Ashland has closed, and we're having a hard time finding anybody that will replace at that cost. And everybody's costs are up anyway. And we grow all the perennials. I've got 200 in my driveway right now. Perennials, ground covers, anything we can grow, we grow. But we advertise heirloom tomatoes, veggie plants, herbs, hanging baskets, and those are good sellers for us. So we're asking, you've given us $100 for a couple of years, and we're asking for $300 this year.
Well, should I add something?
Yes, please.
So I had a meeting today.
You did? With the
And
missus?
actually with a produce company. So a gentleman, one of my customers, I think he's 89 years old. Been running produce, he actually was telling me about how he sold Christmas trees for over 50 years. So I said, really? Where do you buy these? So we started talking, and I said, well, guess what? I have this preservation society. It's a historical society in my township, and we're looking to maybe get some product, So I have his name, and he actually goes down to Homerville to auctions and everything else like that, and he expressed that he'd be willing to make a purchase for us, for you guys, including, he's telling how he can get full flats and everything for $4 or $5. And then he says you can replant them into certain pots and sell each pot for $3 or $4 a piece. So I have his number. Dana actually stole it from me, so to give to you for tomorrow. But so the guy's name is Dave, and I'd like to hook the two of you guys up to discuss what he can do down there in Amish country with getting product and bringing it up to you guys. So
Okay.
I think that might be something to even be better than what we've been doing with the $100 over at the Greensmith. So
do we still need to make a motion to?
Oh, yeah, we gotta
Yeah.
discuss how much money we wanna give.
Okay.
So, what I was thinking this year, you know, a lot of my community events have been with the Historical Society just because of all the stuff going on. We do the plant sale, we have awareness days, stuff like that, so I would like to be able to use some money out of our, community events fund, and, I wouldn't mind proposing that we offer $500. That'll help them for the year. It's, that, you'll have to talk with the
Not for you.
organizers.
I vote against it then, lady.
So somewhere, I'm fine with, you know, what you guys decide, but we do have, you know, a community service fund, and it is a large community event.
It is a big community event, and I was there, last year. I think it's a great event. I think it's worthy of that. And it will help significantly in the raising of funds for their needs. So, I would be in favor of something like that.
Up to 500.
I mean,
Yeah.
flexible, but, yeah.
And we were giving 100 in the past.
We've been doing 100, but it might have bought 4 hanging baskets, you know what I mean? And you got, what do you think, 50, 60 people there right off the bat?
Oh, sure, oh, sure.
So, I mean,
It's really steady for us. It's a good fundraiser. Our other fundraisers, we're actually starting to sell out now as more and more people hear of them, so that's good too. But these are two that really the members of the community come, and that's why we don't wanna drop this one. It's a lot of work physically, we're all older, but it's, you know, repotting and splitting stuff. And, we have people though that call us every spring and say, come and thin out my stuff. So people are involved in it, which is really nice.
I was
And you
sure,
know, Greensmith is good and it's in the township,
Yeah.
but he's pricey. So your money doesn't quite go as far. And we do have one company that is gonna give us some things at their cost, but they ask us not to tell, so nobody else will come and ask them. So we're working on it,
like I said, I'll give you Dave's information and stuff too. Like I said, he probably knows, he's been doing it for 75 years,
That'd
so.
be great.
well, coming into the meeting, I certainly wanted to raise it from what we were given, because we've been there for a number of years. I wasn't really thinking of $500. We were gonna ask for 300, and
That's fine.
You know,
The reason I was doing it is, if you think about it, with our service department and everything else, I mean, they take care of cemeteries over there. They do a lot of work and save us a lot more than $500. That would be, I think. So, I was just looking at the buying power, and then that would.
they do a tremendous amount of work down there. You know, you're right. You know, with the cemeteries and everything, they really do.
Yeah, and that's,
So
Invaluable.
that's a big thing. I can go with the 500 for this, to get it over the hump. Because if they do that, if they buy the plants, if they get the plants down in Homerville, that should get them well on their way. So,
all right. So, who you guys would like? I would like to make a motion to approve a donation from Medina Township to the Weymouth Preservation Society for their annual plant fair for 2024 in the amount of $500.
Second?
Roll call?
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Eastwood?
Aye.
Mr. Christopher?
aye.
Thank you so much. Very helpful.
Like I said, Dana has phoned it right, I just forgot it, so, but I had it written down and stuff like that, so I was excited news. Hopefully it'll work
Great.
out, you know.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big help too.
I'd like to make a motion that we move into executive session.
With who?
Pardon?
With who?
Oh,
And why?
the executive session will be the 3 trustees and the fiscal officer. And this is for discussion of employment of a public employee.
Second that?
Roll call.
Mr. Christopher?
Aye.
Mr. Eastwood? or I mean, Mr. Johnson, I'm sorry.
Aye.
Mr. Eastwood.
Time is 8:05.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. You need to run up and do that?
We're back from executive session, 3 trustees, the fiscal officer, township secretary, and the zoning officer. The time is 8:21. No decisions were made. The next item on the agenda are public comments. So I open it when you, if,
Oh, we have to have a motion for
yeah,
that.
you're right. Make a motion to open the floor to public comments.
Second?
Roll call.
Mr. Christopher.
Aye.
Mr. Eastwood.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Anybody that's gonna make public comments, please stand, state your name and your address.
Carol Farren, 3335 Myers Road, Medina Township. My topic tonight is fireworks, which I have brought up in the past. Approximately 2 years ago, my husband and I approached the trustees about the new laws that were being put into effect for fireworks. We weren't happy about Columbus passing it. Trustee Johnson stated that at a meeting, there were certain neighborhoods that could not shoot off fireworks, and ours was one of them. The law began in July of 2022, the fireworks began. Our neighborhood sounded like a war zone. It was ridiculous. Once again, we approached the trustees. In an email last summer, my husband attended one of the trustees meetings. He was advised that he would speak to the sheriff's office as well as other townships. We heard nothing back. Again, in January, we sent another email out, no response. We are not asking for you guys to make a decision to ban fireworks. All we are asking is for you to look at it, look at the times. I think it's ridiculous that people can shoot fireworks off for 7 hours a day on the days that are valid. I know nowhere that has fireworks that are shut off at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Fair, the cities, they start 9 o'clock in the evening, not 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'd like you to think about July 4th. I get it, July 3rd and July 4th, shooting off fireworks, but being able to shoot them off the weekend before and the weekend after gives people 8 days to shoot fireworks off for 7 hours a day. And in our neighborhood, they do it. And the third thing I'd like to ask is, I do not understand why Columbus says it is okay to shoot fireworks off for Memorial Day weekend. Somebody needs to tell me what we are celebrating. People that gave their lives for our freedom and we're celebrating it? That's part of the problem. People don't even know what Memorial Day is for anymore. They think it's a day off from work, they think it's having a picnic. I think it's terrible, terrible that they've done that. And according to the rules, it says that local governments can establish prohibitions on fireworks discharged in their community. And this is taken right off of the Ohio Department of Commerce. And that time is coming up again, and we're gonna have to deal with this again. And I'm really hoping, finally, some kind of decision can be made. That you can look at this, and again, I'm not asking you to get rid of fireworks, because I know that's never gonna happen. But if you could at least look at some of these rules that they put into place in Columbus, I think they're ridiculous. I really do. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have any comment?
Susan McCarran, 3306 South Old Weymouth. So I went went to a meeting last night about 271, when I said I was coming tonight, they said, can you ask them this, can you ask them this? So am I allowed to ask 5 questions for the good of the community?
Sure.
Or one
Here
at
we
a
go.
time, or how do I do that?
You can ask them,
Okay,
see if we can
I don't
answer them or
have to
not.
answer. Okay. So, do you know the apparatus that's way up on a pole at Nichols and Old Weymouth? That if you look it up, it says it's DEA? Is that really a drug enforcement thing? Do you know what that is? Is that a camera?
That is a camera, but it's not DEA.
Is it?
It's a state of Ohio. Just to monitor traffic, that's what they did.
Is it photographs or data?
No, there's no photo.
Okay. They wanna know, I think it's 150 feet, you're not supposed to put fireworks off, shoot them off within 150 feet of a building, especially an 18th century house. A child, a drunken person, 150 feet. So that pretty much is the village of Weymouth. So when we call the police, why don't they just say you can't do that because you're 15 feet from your barn, your 1890 barn?
Is it 100 feet or 150 feet?
No, it's 150.
It's 150 feet. Yeah, I think I brought it up last year. I can't remember the specs of it. And it's right. And that's where I actually had cited that last year. Is that would be a preface for our department to enforce is the ones that are there, because there are rules in a force, and if you enforce them, that does limit where you can do it.
But people just heard fireworks are legal. They don't know the law.
Right.
That's part of the problem.
Okay, they wanna know if you plan to make a resolution against the 271 project?
If what?
It's not something you make a resolution against. You know, you can voice your concerns and or your disapproval. I think we've all stated that we're not in favor of it, but there wouldn't be a resolution for that.
So it's just something you'd each individually answer one of the surveys?
Mm-hmm. Well, and we talked with the people there too.
It's much more effective. The more letters, that they get against it, the more phone calls they get against it, that's far more effective than if the 3 trustees say we're against it. They'll say
Right.
that's nice.
Right, but you're 3 more.
Yeah.
Okay, can there be speed cameras at Weymouth and Remsen? Old Weymouth and Remsen? Because everybody says if the police park there all the time, it would be the end of the problem. We don't have enough police to park there all the time, but what about cameras?
When you say a speed camera, you're not talking about the
Just
sign that we have,
camera at the
right?
intersection, so when a truck so large came through, going so fast that he had to apply his Jake brakes in the middle of the intersection, that would be on camera.
I don't know that we have that.
We do not have those. Those are gonna be, basically you start getting into that, you're starting to get into the traffic cameras, okay, that you see on the news all the time in Lindale and everywhere else. Okay, that's what those are for, that's what they do specifically.
But if I put one on my porch and aim it at that intersection,
It's evidence.
that's my business,
Right.
okay?
Yeah.
Rita Holt Park, are there any plans to make that a park? Long-term plans?
It's been my passion to do something with it. There's another gentleman that's been here in the past who asked the same thing.
Might be him.
Well, I met with the county about it several times, very frustrated with the outcome of those meetings. So the short answer is, we're not content leaving it set idle, but we're somewhat restricted on what we can do because it's being leased by the county. And so they control the improvements until such time as that lease may be disbanded, which it can be, or we could have an opportunity to do something different.
So I actually had a meeting with them, all the higher ups of the county parks, and I also had a meeting with the people who were doing the resurfacing of Route 3 when they were doing it. And one of the ideas that we had was to take the Tillings, and they were going to offer to create a parking lot up there, and it seemed to have favorable movement towards it, and then it seemed in the second or third meeting after some other higher ups had gotten into it, they didn't want asphalt parking lot up there. And so that kind of nixed that whole thing, because the whole reason that the paving company was going to do that was to get rid of stuff without having to truck it away. So I thought it was gonna be a win-win. Unfortunately, you know, it got cut down.
Is it legal right now for somebody to pull in there at that little area and walk?
I don't think.
With a permit. There is a
You
day
have-
permit
You have
that
to
you
watch
have
out
to apply
because
for.
there is, I
I
know
know there'd be a liability, but where do you get a day permit from the
It's,
county?
yeah, it's on the
Park
county
sys-
website, I
park
believe.
system?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta watch out too, cause they actually use it as a hunting lottery too for bow hunting, so you have to be careful of that. And I'm not really a big proponent of that, but they do have an archery thing for deer season that they'll use those properties.
Okay, thank you.
Ralph?
Ralph Simmons, 2884 Remsen Road, here in Medina Township. I'd just like to follow up on the trustees' comments about the I-71, 271. And I was also at that meeting, not with you guys, of course, but I did have the opportunity to talk to the president of the consulting firm. And I talked with him about the changes for going north on 71 to go east on 271, and going south on 71 and going east. And I pointed out to him a couple of things that you guys have mentioned about property and so on, and he said, well, there's a lot of these things will never happen because they're not practical. And I asked about road studies, and he said, no, we haven't done that yet. You have a budget? No, we haven't done that yet either. Just I wanted to kind of support you guys on what you're saying there, because I ran into the same situation.
The head of the company, I forget his name.
Yeah, I do too.
He told me that they were paid $100,000 to do that study, but it was, I forget how he worded it, but they could have been paid a whole lot more if they would have really wanted to push things. And I just thought, so it's $100,000 that we just wasted. I don't want to hear about more.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Jeff Johnson, 3920 Huffman Road. Your comments earlier about the NOACA that's going on, everyone here has hit upon it. It's federal money. They gotta spend it. And they're, willing to spend their money and are changing our township. It's affecting us. I think it's time to push back. Let me offer this to you. I've been a pain in the neck to those two people over there. We got junkyards here. We got a truck. I told you about the guy at the car dealership, on and on. The common word is, Jeff, thanks, but there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do in those issues. Do you really think we can impact putting something down there? Now's the time to circle the wagons, is what I'm saying. These people here in Old Weymouth, I'll be honest with you, I don't drive through there 3 times a year, but it's real important to them. They circle the wagons, and they're getting together. I commend them for that. That makes sense. Point being, if we don't stand for something, it's gonna be pushed down our throat. That's very difficult. My only issue to them is, if we need your help, we'll call you first. Please stay the hell out of Medina Township. We don't need it. You see what's happening in with zoning and what's coming in next. The other point is, the guy that's the head of NOACA here, locally, if I got it correctly, isn't he a township trustee at,
He's in Montville.
Suggestion maybe coming from our township trustees, subsidized housing, high density housing, sounds great. Why don't we put it in Medina, in Montville Township? Watch the attitudes change. So what I'm saying is, I'm with you. It's time to circle the wagons.
Oh, we've been, Jeff, we've been working on this for a year, so we're really
Bruce,
aware.
I'm all on board, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
we're really aware of it.
Okay, let me back up just one more
Again.
final comment. There's a big issue going on right now about the Boston Road interchange.
The residents have the biggest pushback. The more negative they get, the better it is. Cuyahoga County, again, they get 26 votes, and all the rest of them get 18 or 19 votes total. So Cuyahoga County can alone force these things through. So it's really important that we let them know how much we don't want.
Let me back you up just a little bit there, okay? Back on Boston Road. They don't want the interchange. What they fail to realize is in 2005, 2015, the master plan, let's say, for Brunswick, approved, they wanted an exchange there, but they couldn't afford it. Money was provided, here it is, no, money's no longer an issue. Now, it's an issue. We don't need that here. They don't wanna come down here, as far as I'm concerned, that's great, so. What do you need us to do to help you? If sending letters is a lot, great, I'll send 5 tomorrow, but who do you want them sent to?
Look up it's on the website. Look it up on ODOT's website, tells you who to email them to and everything, there's a survey and everything out there.
I've been emailing the president, he's not responding to me either.
You guys do something, this is on the drugs.
Scott,
I knew it would do that.
You wanna write your email there, I'll send it off. to you.
Okay, any other public comments?
Just anywhere on there.
With that, public comments are closed. I make a motion to close public comments.
Second.
Public comments are closed at 8:36. And open it.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Mr. Christopher?
Aye.
Mr. Eastwood?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Open it to trustee comments. Trustee Johnson, do you have anything?
Just want to bring back up, the idea of a work session. I want you guys to check your calendars. Just, something I feel like we should be doing here soon. So, just set up an hour. It doesn't have to be a big, long meeting, just come in with.
I think it's a good idea. I think it's a very good idea.
The big thing is we just need to, maybe circle a date. I know with Bridget getting her feet wet here, we'll give it some time, but, one of the days that you're here, we'll just do like an hour meeting, hopefully later in the day. I think like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock would be good.
I'm available.
Those can be really beneficial.
So I just say send out an email to each other and we'll pick up some dates and then we can approve it at the next meeting.
That's something maybe we can send it in to Chrissy and she can kind of be the, like my house. There you go, there you go. Thank you. All right,
You talking about next week?
No, just imminently, we just cross-reference everybody's schedules and stuff. I'm kind of booked for the next 2 weeks already, so I'm popular.
No, I'm just looking for,
Any free time?
if you want.
Well, we can do it, Chrissy will organize it. through email or
Mid-May,
something.
end of May.
Somewhere in May, or, middle of May.
somebody's going, yeah.
But I think we should, in all honesty, I think we should set it up for more than an hour. I don't think we're gonna get.
Well, if we come in with the notes and stuff like that, but, we set some type of time
But,
frame for it.
oh, no, I'm all for setting a time frame.
We
but
could
I-
probably talk for
Get it done in
the
an
whole
hour.
day.
No, I'm for setting a time frame. I just don't think that an hour is realistic.
That's something.
Yeah, that's, do you have anything? Okay. And actually, I'm gonna be working with this. We got, something from our US representative, Max Miller, for, fiscal year 2025. It's community project funding. There's a lot of things on here. I sent this to you, Chief. It looked like there were a couple of headings, and I'm going to be working with Lori, tomorrow to see if there's something in here, that she thinks might fit, so we're not wasting a lot of time. But, we're gonna be looking at, any kind of, projects, funding that we can get from the federal government. And we're gonna try to get our money back, is what it is. They're not giving us anything. We're just gonna try to get our money back. That's all I have. Anything else? Nothing else? I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Christopher?
Well, yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yeah.
Mr. Eastwood?
Sure.
Meeting's adjourned at 8:39.